Hello and welcome back to another Writerly Witterings with me, Michael Jex, the tea-drinking author who's not got a microphone. Let's try that again. Like a fool, I just tried to record without a microphone. Not ideal. Hello and welcome to another Writerly Witterings with me, Michael Jex, the tea-drinking author who's currently on a coffee from the BBC. Thank you, BBC chaps. I have got a book I'm trying to finish off this week, which is a problem because I'm leaving in an hour to run up the road to Shaftesbury, where I've got to give a talk tonight. That's going to be fun. And then as soon as I've finished that, I've got to zoom back here and do a bit more work because I only have 3 days in total to be able to get this work done. So today I have nothing new to show you, but I thought I would just talk a little bit about some of my favourite things. And that's quite an interesting one. First of all, what is my favourite paper? Now, right this minute, it is the stuff you get in these, William Hanna. Why? Because it's magnificent paper. It's 115 GSM, I think. It feels quite thick, almost on the way to being card. And it is superb to write on. It's absolutely wonderful. It gives you a marvellous feeling of feedback. I can't show you that. That's a whole bunch of other people's phone numbers and addresses. What have I got here? Silly notes on things to do. But you never get any feathering, any bleeding. I've not managed to get any ink go straight through it. And what is lovely about William Hanna stuff is that it arrives in superb little wallets. When you open them up, inside is all this glorious paper. And of course, the great thing about this wonderful, glorious paper is it's all removable. So you have pages in your binder, and all you need to do is pull them from the top and they come out, and then you can move them to a different place in your notebook, or you can move it into a different notebook altogether. I have a notebook. This is the A6 version. I have the A5 version as well. And I can take pages out of this. When I'm out and about doing notes, I can scribble notes down and then take the pages out, put them straight into the A5 notebook. And all of a sudden, I'm keeping track of all of my notes wherever I go. But I don't have to carry the big heavy A5 with me whenever I go out walking the dog, for example. I just love them. They're superbly well made, beautiful leather, lovely stitching, Italian leather, which just cannot be beaten, and they're wonderful. So that was the first thing. I'm actually going to be testing some other people's paper next week, which should be good. But the other one I've got to mention is this, which is an endless notebook. Now, if you know me at all, you will know that I'm always singing the praises of my absolutely wonderful traveller's notebook, which I've had on me almost every single day for about 25 years now. And by heck, that cover's showing it. It's been a few miles, this. And I love it. But it is quite tall. It is quite thin. And it's also quite fat. And I've started, for just daily carry, taking this, my endless notebook, which has none of the clever stuff that's in the traveller's notebook, but it's a much more practical size for writing on. The notebooks are really good quality paper. They were originally, let's make sure there's nothing I need to hide there. They were originally Tomo River, I think 68 GSM. Don't think it's 52, but excellent paper that shows any sheening you've got, that is nice and fine and light to write on. And with these nice leather binders, you can hold 3 of their little endless notebooks all together. Now, there are some aspects of these which are a little bit irritating for some people, I know. One of them is that they don't take standard cahiers that you would find from Leuchtturm, Rhodia or any of the others. They're a slightly different dimension. I actually don't care. It's worthwhile spending a little bit extra to get the cahiers that fit in this and not worry about that, because it is the perfect size to carry in my case, cargo trousers. I always wear cargo trousers, and it's just the right size to fit in the map pocket. But it also fits in a jacket pocket on the outside. It's just excellent. Really good paper, really well designed. The Endless people are a fairly young company from India, but they're really going great guns. So that's a firm to keep an eye out for. And now, it's writing tools. Now, this is difficult. For one thing, I feel huge amounts of brand loyalty to Conway Stewart. I've been buying their pens since about 1999, 2000, and I love them. I love the classic design of them. I love the feel of them in the hand, and I especially love the special nib grinding work that they can do. So I've got one nib that was a plain medium nib. I just got a very strange look from somebody walking past in the street. Looked in and thought, what the hell's he doing talking to a computer for? Anyway, yes, I've got one that was a medium nib that Conway Stewart very kindly ground down to an italic medium, and it's one of my all-time favourite nibs. It feels superb, it looks lovely, it gives that little bit of extra line variation which makes such a difference when you're writing, and it's an absolute joy to use. I also love my Indiana Jones, that's just great, and the Drake, my solid silver Drake, is one of my favourite pens of all time. This year I've tested the Marlborough, which was gorgeous, and another one whose name escapes me. But it was jolly nice. And they're all jolly nice, which is the trouble. But as you all know, I love my Viscontis as well. Now, the trouble is, when you look at these pens, the cheapest Conway Stewarts are about £400, I think. The cheapest Visconti Homo sapiens, I think, starts at about 500. And they're great, all of them. They really are. They're lovely, lovely pens. But then I come down to, well, what do you actually want the pen for? Now, I've got 2 main purposes. One is to jot down quick notes in my Endless notebook or my Traveller's notebook or my William Hanna notebook while I'm out and about. In which case, I want a fairly fine nib, not going to spurt too much ink out, and it's convenient and robust. Now, I have to say, I've always felt that the Kavekos are about the best. I really like this Bastion. This came through to me a little while ago. It has a really good feel to it because it's solid metal. It has ribbing around the section so your fingers don't slide off, although you can find the pen rotating if you haven't got very strong grip, and I haven't because of this operation on my arm. But I love the looks of that. I really like the fact that it is slim. When I'm out and about and I want to make a quick note, being slim appeals to me. I really like the firmness of that clip, which is great. It clings to your shirt pocket like nothing else I've ever used, and it is very good. I wouldn't say I prefer it to the Kavekos, but it's certainly one of those pens that will be used in rotation with the Kavekos very regularly. What is nice about it is it's also not terribly expensive. What's not so nice is if you're trying to order one from the UK, they use a courier whose prices are absolutely outrageous. So when I looked, they wanted to charge me £70, I think, for postage. However, if you're inclined towards a Bastion, what you can do is buy a pencil or a biro as well. I do love this pencil. It's very good and it is always in my pocket. But if you buy the pen and the pencil, it means you're spending over $100. I think it's $110 for the two together, something like that. And then the postage is free anywhere in the world. So if I was going to buy the one, I'd probably buy the two and just make it worthwhile. However, if I was going to spend a lot of money on a pen right now, it wouldn't be any of the pens I've spoken about. It would have to be this. Now, a lot of people don't like the look of these things. This is the Pineda. It's a Pineda Avatar, and it's known as the Traveller. And it is a vacuum fill pen, like my Conway Stewart's, but it vacuum fills to a massive extent. It fills, I think the total capacity is about the same as one of the Visconti Homo sapiens. Did I just say Conway Stewart? I might have done. I was wrong if I did. This is much more ink in there than a Conway Stewart could ever hold. It's a vast quantity of ink, several cc's. And this I can fill before going, for example, today up to Shaftesbury, and I know that this will not run out. Now, you can buy these pens with their own standard nibs. They're brilliantly designed too. You can buy them with a standard nib. I was given this, I was enormously grateful to him, by Dante Del Vecchio himself, who gave me this as a pen to test because it's got a completely flexible nib. I do love that magnetic fitting cap. That is so good. But what is so good about this? The nib is just stunning. I absolutely love it. My writing is not good right now because of this problem I've got with my grip and my elbow, but it gives you light variation when you want to have just something to write with quickly. It works perfectly well as a note taker with this extra fine nib. But if you want to take a little bit of time over your writing to make it look really good, it flexes to a double broad, just about. It is stunning just how flexible that nib is, and it's magnificent. The pen itself, I believe, is about £250. The nibs that come with them are slightly flexible, but they're not terribly flexible. They're steel rather than gold. If you pay the extra money, you can have one of these ultra flexible nibs, which means it still works out cheaper than a Visconti Homo sapiens. And I love the Viscontis. I love the lava material that they're made from. But if you look on the internet, you will find there is a video of Dante Del Vecchio, I think with Goulet pens, and he whacks one of these with a hammer, and it doesn't break. This material is stunningly well made. I don't know exactly what it is. It's some sort of plastic, obviously. What's also interesting is there's no glue used in the making of this whatsoever. Everything is held together with an exceptional fit, basically because it's got a superb design. So, some people may find it difficult to get hold of the nibs, the ultra flexible nibs. The main thing to do in that case is, if you get real problems, let me know. I'll find out the best method of sourcing them for you from Pineda themselves and let you know what the answer is. There's a viewer in Australia who had difficulties getting hold of one of these with this type of nib, and he let me know. I contacted Dante Del Vecchio, and he's now, I believe, the proud owner of one of these pens. So it can be done. It's just sometimes made a little bit difficult because of the way that the importers work in different countries. So, I hope that was interesting. Now, the one last thing I do have to mention is when you've got yourself a lovely pen or pencil, you obviously want somewhere to put it. And this, from coppertist.woo, still astonishes me. It is very tactile, it's absolutely beautiful, and it's on my desk all the time because I can just put my pens right on top and I know where they are. But the main thing is, it is just astonishingly beautifully made. See that mouth with the fangs? You can see every single scale on the snake's body. It's just incredible. Marvellous, marvellous piece of workmanship. Now, all of the things I've mentioned will be mentioned in the comments section, hopefully by the time you see this video. I'm going to have to edit it very quickly in the morning, just before it goes live. I hope I'll have time. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed that video. If that was fun, then please hit the like button and share it and subscribe and hit the bell if you want it and all that sort of good thing. What I would also say is I'm thinking seriously about changing the way the channel operates slightly. I'm thinking that I will have the Writerly Witterings writing section. I'll have a Writerly Witterings technology section, which would have things like the free write and how free writes work, different types of software for writing. And then I'm also going to have a third. I'll use a different finger for the third. The third will be for health issues, because I'm very serious about doing something on diabetes. Now I've got it and I've learned a lot about it. I think I've learned a number of things that will be helpful for other people too. So let me know what you think about that as an idea, splitting things up into the three main areas. And apart from that, it's now 2:10. I have to put this to bed and then have a shower, get ready, go to Shaftesbury, give a talk. And then tomorrow you'll see this video. I find talking about YouTube and things which I'm going to be scheduling for the future really confusing. Never mind, I'll cope. Right, I'm off. Take care, folks. Hope that was interesting. Speak to you soon. Cheers. Yummy coffee.